Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we have a fun-filled show for you on a Wednesday, midway point of the week, but we're going to have plenty to discuss, and we're actually on time today because there were no press conferences. There'll be a press conference tomorrow evening for some Razorback football players, but until then, we're going to have some fun talking some football, basketball, and everything in between. We're going to have our heavy hitters presented by HD Roofing and Construction. We'll have some summer topics of discussion presented by our friends at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. We'll get into the chat presented by Basis Health, have some BetSaracen prop plays, and some fun with that when it comes up to the upcoming Razorback football season, and talk about everything that you all want to talk about. But fellas, it's Wednesday, midway point of the week, 10 days away from Razorback football. How are the vibes today?
Vibes are good. Happy to be here, gentlemen.
You know how yesterday I was like overly in a good mood. I was sunshine pumping. Bobby P made me feel happy and all that. That has run out. The Kool-Aid has run out. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. I'm back down to 5 wins, but we'll see if maybe the chat can get me back to 6 wins. I'm sure they're going to try.
Yeah. Well, listen, I understand that people are going to have their predictions as we get closer. And I understand some people are going to say it's going to be great, and other people are going to say it's going to be awful. But I can tell you this, guys, as we know, again, on Saturday, we're going to have our official predictions and everything here at Inside Arkansas. No matter what it is, if we are right, no one will give us credit. But if we are wrong, people are going to let us hear about it. So that's the way it is, and that's the name of the game. But we're still going to do it, still going to have fun with it, and still going to be pretty enticing for sure. So, but again, we got a lot of things that we're going to get into today, but it's amazing. Yeah, 10 days away, Brandon Allen days away, if you will, of till Razorback football ends up starting up. And it's kind of getting to the point now, too, where the watch list season, I keep saying it's winding down, but it's not, because I feel like every single day there's like somebody new on the watch list for something. But you start to get into some things that may be changing up in college football and in the landscape and everything like that. And since we're going to talk about predictions, I wanted to bring this up. I think Kelly Ford, they have been some really interesting ratings and graphics and stuff that has been pretty fascinating for college football here as of late. We've talked about a few of them. But today they had a very interesting post, which I think Razorback fans might be a little bit curious about. And it's the number of regular season wins that each team needs to be in the college football playoff at large discussion. So how many total regular season wins in order to even be in the discussion, because not all schedules are created equal, and it's based on the difficulty of the schedule. So here's this graphic, guys. With Arkansas being at 8 wins alongside Florida, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. Those 4 teams, all SEC teams, mind you, have to get to the 8 wins, given the schedule, the strength of schedule and everything, to be in the discussion, not to get in, but to be in the discussion. I felt like if there was ever a team that made it in at 9-3 would be a pretty unheard of thing. But what do you make of this? If imagine if Arkansas got in the playoff with 8 wins, it'd be hilarious for one. But 2, do you feel like they would be in the discussion if they got to that 8-win mark this year?
No. Well, here's what I'll say. Let's say they're 8-3 going into the Missouri game. I could see it being like outside looking in, but in the conversation, it's like, oh, if they win this game against Missouri to get to 9, then yeah, I mean, maybe they could sneak in if so-and-so loses or this happens or that happens. Like they could be on the periphery of those conversations, kind of like South Carolina was last year, where they, got on the roll there and it was like, man, they kind of keep winning games here. We're not talking about them enough. Are they serious? Could it be? And then it was never really a thing, but they were at least talking about it. That's what I could see. If you go into the final week of the season at 8 wins and it's like beat Missouri, you got a shot. But outside of that, I think, if they go 8-4 at the end of the regular season, I think those conversations are entirely over.
Yeah. I mean, like what constitutes at-large discussion. You know what I mean? Because like there's a lot of teams every year where you're kind of like, oh yeah, I mean, hey, they could make the playoff, but it's like they don't really, it's not how serious is that discussion. And to your point, Curtis, I think if Arkansas is 7-4 going into that Missouri game, there is not going to be a soul on this planet who is looking at that game as a win, get in for Arkansas, or even win and force a conversation. Now, I will say, obviously, all this is dependent on everything. Everything else playing out a certain way. I actually heard our best friend Josh Pate the other day say that this year has a very 2007 type of vibe to it. Where just everybody's kind of in the difference between number 9 and number 27 isn't that much. The difference between number 27 and 45 isn't that much. So it could just be a year where everyone has 3 losses or something weird like that. And that's what happened when LSU won the title at 10-2. But overall, I say all that to say, no. Would they be a team that like one media guy would try and be smart and be like, hey, this is a playoff level team? Yeah, maybe, but no, they would not actually be in the discussion at 8-4. I think 9-3, you very much would have that discussion. We saw some 3-loss teams in the discussion last year, but I think that's where the discussion kind of starts.
Well, and just to put it to, which I agree with you guys, but to put it to a point from last year, the final college football playoff rankings, they do top 25. They don't do just 12. They do top 25. There was not a single team with only 8 wins in the top 25. The worst record anyone had in the top 25 last year of the college football playoff rankings was 9-3. Colorado being the worst one with 9-3. However, as you mentioned, Andrew, there were a couple of teams that were in the discussion, like Ole Miss and South Carolina. They were at 14-15, sitting at 9-3. So, and again, I want to reiterate, this is not saying that if Arkansas or Florida or Mississippi State or Vanderbilt got 8 wins, they would automatically be into the playoff or anything like that. It's just they would be in the discussion based on the strength of schedule. I think it's pretty fascinating, too, that with the 8 or 9 win mark, almost all the teams in the SEC are in there. Like pretty much every team that needs to be mentioned except for Missouri, because they're like, hey, you need 10. And Missouri and Ole Miss, you guys need 10 wins in order to be in the discussion. But it really kind of opened my eyes up to this, where, again, I'm not saying that there'll be a team for sure to get in ever at 8-4. In fact, if it did, it'd be a really like a 2007 type season, as you brought up. 9-3, I would even be a little bit surprised. I feel like double-digit wins is what you got to get, and that needs to be the goal. And I think if you go with 10 wins in the SEC, you will get into the playoff, at least at the current state of the playoff. If you get to 10 wins, you're in the playoff. So if you want to have something to go for, that's something. But isn't it just a crazy thing, though? And it's just a friendly reminder of how the playoff system works. When I just got so attuned with college football that, hey, if you want to even have a chance at sniffing a title, you got to win 11, 12, 13 games. You got to win your conference title. You got to win all of that. But because of the current playoff model, you're talking about teams that may not have even been able to sniff or get close to playing for a championship now suddenly at least have a puncher's chance at it. You think about, teams from last season. I know they're going to change some things up and the playoff is still ever fluid, but like Arizona State was in the playoff last year. They have had no chance. I can't even remember in our lifetime, guys, if Arizona State was even close to getting into getting into a title game. Not that I remember, but because of this, they got into it. So if you're Arkansas, you're going to need more than 8. In fact, if you had 9 wins, I feel like if Arkansas did get to 9 wins, they'd at least be in the conversation, right, of one of those 9 wins, just because of the schedule and everything, right? Would you guys agree with there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, but if they were able to ever get into that landscape and considering the schedule and everything, they would at least have a chance. At least have a chance to play for a title. Wouldn't win it probably, but have a chance for it. And that's what just changes the dynamic of coaches and how they're viewed. That changes programs and how they're viewed and everything. But when I saw this, I cracked up laughing. I was like, could you imagine Arkansas going 8-4 and getting into the college football playoff, and how hilarious that would be? I think it'd just be hilarious.
Well, people would definitely be doing the thing where they're like, are we sure that 10-2 SMU is really better than 8-4 Arkansas? This is crazy. We definitely get in some. Hey, and honestly, if the Big Ten has it their way and the playoff expands to 24 or 28 teams or whatever the heck they have been kicking around out there over the course of the last week, then shoot, maybe 7-5 get you in, down the road. It's kind of crazy. That's when it becomes too much for me. It's like the expanding the NCAA tournament beyond where it's at. It's like at some point, I get it. Like you want to give a fair percentage of like a piece of the pie and an opportunity there. But when does it become extremely watered down and diluted? And I really think if you get too far beyond the 12 that you have right now, that's what you're getting at. If they wanted to go to 16 or something, okay, fine. Like I don't have a huge problem with that. But if you get beyond that and it's adding like an entirely another round to it, and you're really messing around with these 8-4 SEC teams, just like we were messing around with, hell, they didn't even expand the tournament. We were messing around with 6-12 SEC teams in basketball. That's when it's a little bit too far for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I think last year was obviously our first year with the 12-team playoff, and so we didn't really know how it was going to play out. I remember when Arkansas beat Tennessee and there was a bye week, we did an episode where we were like, hey, what record would Arkansas have to make the playoff? And just like today, people are losing their minds. Wait, you're saying Arkansas is going to make the playoff? No. What record? That's what this graphic is about. How many wins would you need to be in that discussion? And I remember us saying, hey, 9-3 would have Arkansas right there. And we got a lot of pushback for it. But then you saw South Carolina go 9-3, and they were right there in that discussion. I can't remember where they finished, whether it was 13, 14, 15. But you remember there was like an argument going into the playoff for South Carolina to be in. And then, of course, they ruined it for everybody by losing to Burt in the bowl game and ended up finishing their season 9-4. But I think South Carolina is actually, all we can go off of is history, and we have 1 year of history. South Carolina is kind of the perfect test case for what you would need to be a 3 or 4 loss team in that discussion. And you look at South Carolina, they went 9-3 last year, and they had a close loss to LSU. They got blown out by Ole Miss, and then I think they lost to Bama was their other one. They had a win over Clemson, who I believe did make the playoff. And they had a good resume overall. That is kind of the bare minimum of what you need to do to be in that discussion. And they didn't even get in. And so I'm with you, Curtis, where I'm like, do we really need to have these 7-5, 8-4 teams like with that much hope? Like, I know we want to give everything meaning, but I think we're kind of good where we're at. Let's just let this 12-team playoff cook for a decade, 5, 6, 7 years maybe, and just see how this works. Year one, I don't really have many complaints about it. I think that's kind of like right. Like South Carolina last year is pushing the envelope of like who you should be allowed to even pretend to want to be in the playoff. And even they didn't get in with a really solid resume at 9-3. And I think Arkansas, of course, if they went 9-3 this year, would be that kind of thing. Any SEC team, Florida, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, all kind of fit that criteria. I still think 9 wins would probably be what you would need, and that might not even be enough.
Let me ask you guys 2 questions real quick. One, the sad face at the bottom of this graphic, is that just teams where it's like if you go undefeated, you still just don't have a chance?
Yeah. Missouri State. Maybe that means they're not eligible.
Maybe so, because Missouri State's their FBS the first year, so maybe that's what it is. Because that's tough, man. Like that's really that's brutal. Let's say that they expanded the college football playoff out to 24, and Arkansas went 8-4 1 year, and they got in. Would that still hit the same for you guys? It's like, shoot, they made it in. We got a chance. This is awesome. Or would you how would that make you feel if that was the case compared to if they got in now? Would it be the same of like, oh, shoot, they made the college football playoff. We're here, baby. Or would you feel like you would feel if the tournament got expanded to 76 teams and Arkansas was playing in Dayton in the first 4 or something?
I can speak for this and I'll be honest, where I stand right now and you asking me that question and be like, no, it wouldn't hit the same, but I know if it happened and in that moment, I'd be like, this Arkansas could find a way, to maybe if they, get the ball to bounce their way. It's so in the moment I would not be, but in this moment I would be like, nah, it'd be a little bit different. But if it happened in that time, I'd still be pumped and be like, hang the banner, man. We're going to the playoffs, baby.
I would most certainly talk myself right into it and be like, no, this is the coolest thing ever. At the end of the day, though, if you finish 8-5 in the season, you know what I mean? It's really hard to sell yourself on, we were 8-5. We were one of the best teams in the country. It's like, your 5th loss came in the playoff, but you're still 8-5. It would be interesting. We would probably feel great about it. And by the way, I do think, I already see the chat kind of doing their thing today. I think there's going to be a 3-loss team get in the playoff this year, 1,000%. And so I think that'll be kind of when we find out, how will we view that team nationally? If there's a 3-loss team that gets in and then they lose their first playoff game, will we really respect them? I think we'll have a better understanding, better idea. But for now, it's just kind of tough to even imagine because we just haven't lived in that world yet.
Yeah. And also to the point that you brought up, Curtis, with the expanding of the playoff, it's, there's a certain line that you don't want to cross. And I don't know if you guys heard the same thing, but I know from the olds out there, and maybe some of you are listening are the olds, most of you will be like, bowl games just ain't what they used to be. When you'd go to a bowl game, it was a big deal. If you got to a January 1 bowl game, it was a big deal. And then it lost a little bit, and it lost a little bit for you. And that's what I do not want to see college football playoffs ever get to the point to where it becomes just another bowl season where it's like, hey, as long as you have a winning record, you're in. Nope. Don't want that. I don't want this high school football in Arkansas where the 7th team out of 8 teams in the conference gets into the playoff. Do not want that. Do not want it to where it's watered down. And because here's the deal I look at. In basketball, I think it's a little bit different because you have 350 teams and from all different conferences and walks. So you got to have a fairly good amount of teams in there to decide who truly is the best. But in college football, at least where it currently states, there's only so many teams that you're like, all right, these teams are there. And there's only so many conferences that can put up an automatic qualifier or anything like that. So I just don't want it to become where if you want to expand it, okay, because I was in favor of expanding it from 4 to 12. Like, I'm good with that. And if it goes to 16 even, I'm good with that. But I just do not ever want it to be like bowl season where, hey, as long as you just, have a pulse and you fart in your hand and throw it against the wall and, hey, suddenly you're in the playoffs. That's just going to be, it's going to make for a terrible product. And it's going to lose a little bit because, as you guys know, you talked about, making it and how different it would feel. There's coaches right now in programs that if they make the playoff right now, it's a major deal. Coaches get extensions and all that. But then it'd be kind of the same thing now where bowl games that way. But now bowl games, like, hey, if you make a bowl game, who cares? I just don't want it to lose its great accomplishment feeling instead of just, hey, you did okay. You did good. You tried. So therefore you have a chance to win a championship. I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. I want it to stay right where it's at or slightly expanded, and let's get Arkansas in there.
Yes.
Let's get them in there.
I'm right there.
Be legitimate,
Am I naive for thinking that 12 is the literal perfect number? I feel like that is right around where it's at. And honestly, I feel like last year with the way it played out, I feel like that was a fair cutoff. There were maybe a couple teams that like an SMU that maybe didn't even really need to get in. There were a couple teams right on the outside who were griping, but then they kind of showed in bowl season that they really didn't deserve to get in. I feel like 12 is a good number. And ultimately, you play the playoff, you play the games, we get to find out. I don't think there's ever, for some of those teams, to your point, John, of oh, they got in and did they really deserve it? Well, if they go out there and win 3 playoff games, we're not going to have a question about whether or not they deserved it. And so it kind of all plays out in the end. Is there anybody after the season last year that was like, you know what, Ohio State won the title, but I don't know, man, we should have cut this thing down to 7 and took them out. I think we all kind of agree, hey, it played out. They went out there and beat the best teams. They earned that. And so it kind of will always be able to play itself out. We'll always be able to have discussions. But I think by the end, you just want to be able to look at a team and be like, that was the team. They won the title. They earned it. Last year 1 of the playoff or of the 12-team playoff, I felt like Ohio State, there weren't really any qualms. They went out there and played the games. They earned it. And I think it's probably going to play out that way more often than not.
No, I think so too. And I think there'll be some interesting points we can continue to bring up about that. But I want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas are brought to you by our friends at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They're here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. Shout out to our guy, Dre, being a partner of ours here at Inside Arkansas. So one of these chats that I'm going to give credit to producer Cameron for starring this because he's on the job learning right now. But
out here grinding.
Yeah, I know, just putting in the work.
John's doppelganger.
Yeah, my doppelganger. That's right. He's just going to stand in for me one day and see if anyone notices. But either way, this one comes from Evan when he was saying Arkansas hosting a college football playoff game in December would be a dream come true. And to me, I know we've talked about the playoff and expansion, all that. That is the one thing to me that is might be the most endearing and might be the most motivating thing for a fan. Because let's be honest, in college basketball, which we all love the NCAA tournament, it's the greatest thing ever. But, you don't have home games in the postseason unless and if you do, you're in the NIT and no one shows up. So it's you don't have that element. But in baseball, there is. Obviously Omaha's there, but you have it in baseball. NFL, you have home games and playoffs. And in the NBA, you have home games in the playoffs. Major League Baseball. So college football has always been unique with the bowl games of never having them at home or anything. But man, it's kind of like such a mystery that no matter where it's at, no matter what school you are, it would be the biggest and most awesome deal ever to hit that campus. And looking at it from the Arkansas perspective, guys, we've seen some great games and some great sporting events in Fayetteville, whether it's baseball or basketball or even football. But I almost get like goosebumps and chills thinking about what it would be like in Fayetteville in December if they ever had a college football playoff game here. Like just insanity.
Now that would be the perk to expansion. If they still did the same way with those opening round games on home sites, that would be, I couldn't imagine it either. It would be absolutely electric, man. I wonder if they're going to wind up making a change. I heard a lot of people complaining about that with the 12-team format of like, okay, if you're higher seeded or whatever, you get a bye, which is cool, but then you don't get, you're playing on the random bowls or whatever. It almost seems like they should do the opening round at those bowl sites and then reward the better teams with a home game on their own campus, which would be sick. It's kind of tricky to do with, I understand with like money and, rights and everything like that with the CFP. But if you expanded, then maybe it could be like the first 2 rounds are on home sites or whatever. Then you still have all the bowls once you get down to the final 8 teams or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't mind living in a world where the playoff was expanded to 24 and the Hogs were playing at home. That would be crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And the chat said it would be a dream come true, and I think that's an accurate representation because it doesn't even really feel like an attainable thing. Like,
Right.
and I'm not even saying that to be mean or it just doesn't like Arkansas hosting a college football playoff game is something my mind can't even really wrap itself around right now. And obviously, maybe we'll live in a world one day where that happens. But you mentioned, John, like how big of a motivating factor that is. Listen, think about all these, memories in basketball, football, or whatever that we're able to very quickly. We know the exact year. Like 2011 was the Tyler Wilson 11-2 year. Like we know that if in the next 100 years, if Arkansas hosts 2 playoff games, everybody alive who is a Razorback fan will be able to very quickly identify, oh yeah, you remember in 2052 when we hosted that game or whatever? Like it's going to be a monumental moment. And so I'm all for that, man. I think like that's what this whole thing is about, is creating like these lifetime memories for these fan bases, creating these awesome moments and opportunities. I also am in favor of I think the top 4 teams should be a little bit more rewarded, because I think that is kind of crazy that, if you're number 5, you get to host a game and you get this awesome thing, but it's like you're number 4, you're just like, you get a bye, but it's like, dude, I think they should get that home one.
Is it weird that I would rather have the home game than have the bye? Like, if it's like I would rather be the 5 seed than the 4 seed.
Yeah.
So
especially because you'd be playing the worst team. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like a game that you'd be favored by a touchdown in. It's like, yeah, let's do it.
How weird is that? I mean, I'm because I think it's true. Like, how weird is that they're supposed to be, the top 4 teams get this benefit. And then if I'm using Arkansas, which I know is a long shot and may never happen, but it's just like looking at it from the Arkansas perspective of, no, I don't want that 4 seed, man. I don't want the 4 seed. I'd almost look at it like, hey, the 5-12 game in the NCAA tournament. Nope, don't want it. Nope, I don't want a 5 seed. I don't want to be ranked number 8 in the country. I don't want any of these things. Just give me the 5 seed, and that way I'd rather host. Because and the fact that it's in December too would be a unique thing. Because do you guys remember? I'm sure you do, but the COVID season when Arkansas played Alabama in Fayetteville, and it was on December 12th or whatever. It was like strange, but it was cool, but it was strange. And that was just for, not the game that didn't really, you got blown out in, and it didn't have a whole lot of people there. But the point is, like, it would be such a monumental and unique thing that, again, but how big of a deal it is. You think about the businesses here locally in Northwest Arkansas and how much money they would make that weekend. You think about the economy from that. You think about the school and how much they would make. And then you think about the atmosphere leading up to. You think about students who may have been done with school, but they're camping out for the games if they were allowed to be. Of course, I don't know. The hog pen people may start camping out for that too, and then we just have a fight on our hands. But just the everything going along with it is truly. I guess the whole point I'm making is truly what the college football element is like so exciting, and so it would be so cool is all of those things encompassed in together. And again, I hope it happens in our lifetime. Hope it happens soon. That'd be really cool. But
it'd be awesome.
I just couldn't imagine the city this way.
Yeah.
Do y'all agree with this stance that Big KG says that's how Ohio State won the Natty? They got blessed, and Tennessee had to go to the shoe. Imagine if they had to go to Neyland, it'd be a completely different ballgame. I'm not downplaying home field advantage. I understand Neyland's one of the best. It was like 49-3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Did I misremember that game? Was it not like a complete blowout where they put in their 3rd string?
Yeah, no, I mean it was, but that's the thing is, was it Ohio State had to go to Oregon, right?
They had, it's weird. They
I think that wasn't the neutral the next week or whatever.
I think it was. Right. They had gone to Oregon earlier in the year, and then they had to rematch Oregon.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm not hating, but Tennessee wasn't like that. I don't think.
No.
I don't think they were going to beat Ohio. I think they could have played them 150 times on every single planet, and they would have lost 150 times probably.
That was the game where it was freezing cold there in Columbus, and Tennessee players were out there in warm-ups with their shirt off, slapping themselves on the chest. And they got smacked
I think
around.
Ryan Day was like, "That's when we knew we were going to win when we saw them doing that." He was like, "Yeah, we got this one."
Yeah, not to mention that. No offense, but Arkansas beat Tennessee last year, so it's like it's not like they're just some world beater. But
the uncrowned national champion Volunteers.
Jeez, man, that was again. I know we're talking about a fantasy, and sometimes it's good to fantasize. Can't get the real thing, so you got to fantasize. And this is a fantasy that maybe would happen, but I know, Curse, you're a basketball guy, and with the NCAA tournament, it doesn't change. I love it the way it is, but man, it would be kind of cool if there was ever a point. If they did expand, which we don't want, but if they did, it's like, all right, well, in that case, maybe have a home game for certain teams in there, and like, because what is cooler, what means more than home court advantage in college basketball, more so than any other sport?
Yeah, that would feel like the best way to make it all palatable, because if they just expanded out and they played more games, and like we're talking about March Madness, they played more games in Dayton or just extended it out to the regional sites, and you're traveling all over the place or whatever. I don't know, but I think they could talk people into it a little bit better for two reasons. One, if you do the home court advantage thing, like that's awesome. I don't know how they would do the revenue share. I don't remember how they do that. Like when you host regionals or supers, if it's like you get concessions or whatever. Anyway, you could have that opportunity to entice. And then also one of the big hangups on the expansion is how can we do this without losing millions of dollars? Because it's tied directly into women's basketball too. It's like just adding 4 to 8 teams is going to cost them millions of dollars that they're probably not going to make in the revenue for those games. Well, if you have it on someone's home court, that eliminates half the travel right there. So it actually would make a little bit of sense to do that. And then women's basketball does it, don't they? To a degree there. So
yeah. And I just also think too of like going back to the college football thing, we see games in bomb, because that's the best example we have of like postseason home games in a major sport, and how it's in bomb, and Arkansas is the home team sometimes, but it's also the presentation and everything surrounding it is supposed to be neutral. It would be weird, like in Razorback Stadium, you don't have like your hype videos and your the band going on the field. Like, I don't know how all that works. Is it still kind of like, no, both bands have to play and all that? Like, is that the thing, or is it just maybe, hey, you're the home team, let it fly?
I think they let it fly last year. I could be wrong. I don't know if they had a bunch of NCAA logos up, but like I feel like it was.
Well, it's not, since it's not an NCAA event, because it's technically college football playoff. So maybe maybe they let that happen, but because that would be basketball too. It'd be kind of weird being at Bud Walton Arena and it's just like no DJ Derek, just no. I mean, here's the thing. It's sad. I'm making a joke, but even if Arkansas hosted a NCAA tournament game in Bud Walton Arena, you'd still have empty seats behind the benches. So just be sad. It would be sad. So, but either way, good discussion. We'll get to your chats here in a little bit too, and some other things going on in the college basketball, football, baseball, just college landscape in general. But I want to remind everybody, we're presented by our friends at Hickey Hull Law, because they are the ones that are going to take care of you when it comes to all of your legal needs, especially divorce and custody cases, because those are important. Dealing with family, dealing with kids. Those are things you cannot do on your own. You don't want to do it on your own. You want to have help. Hickey and Hull is going to help you out every single step of the way. They have offices across the state of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, as well as Mena. And if you need help, not only with divorce and custody cases, but criminal, civil litigation, personal injury, estate planning, all of that stuff, they are the ones to go to. So give them a call today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can visit their website at hickeyandhull.com. Also scan that QR code on your screen right now. It is Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. See, I got all excited about thinking of a playoff game in Fayetteville, and it's never going to happen. I mean, it's like, you know how crazy it is? I think it's more likely that Arkansas host an NCAA basketball tournament game in Fayetteville than it is Arkansas hosting a college football playoff game in Fayetteville. That's sad.
You never know, man.
This is why I like the NIT better than the NCAA tournament. You get those home courts involved.
Did you, I know this was years ago. Did either of you guys go, or you remember the NIT game Arkansas hosted against Portland State?
I do remember when they hosted somebody else, didn't they? Didn't they host Indiana not that long ago?
No, sorry, you're right. Or Indiana State, not
Indiana
Portland
State, that's right.
Yeah. And I remember that was my final year as a student section leader. And I went, and it was weird because they just sold the tickets like one by one. So and only 8,000 people showed up, but they were all like together. It was kind of weird and interesting.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was just pretty unique. And that was the year Arkansas beat Kentucky twice and still made the NIT. Anyways, but yeah, that was the closest postseason I've gotten to in basketball, and it was not as fun as what people would think. I can tell you that. Let's see. Shout out to Chris Sullivan. Appreciate the super chat. He says, "I love this show." So,
baby.
I'm hoping you hear it in Cal's tone. I'm hoping that's what he meant.
Definitely was that.
Yeah. Are we going to get that from Cal this year? Are we going to get I love coaching this team?
Yeah, he'll come up with something different.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just keep a camera in his face all the time, because that clip came from a behind the scenes post game thing, right? So we just got to keep the camera on him at all times.
Yeah, he likes that.
I forgot. Was it the Michigan game maybe that they won that he said that? I feel like it may have been that one. I don't remember.
I think it was later. I think it was once they
was after that.
Yeah, it was like in conference play once they broke their little streak. It was like in February or whatever. Maybe the Georgia game
after he drug him across the finish line.
Yeah, it might have been Georgia.
Said he was going to do it and then put his name on it.
Yep. Man, I can't wait for Calisms to come back, man. They're some of my favorites.
I mean, we've got so many bangers year one. It's all fake bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Like that one in the what was the one I was thinking of just the other day that started making me laugh? Well, it was for DJ, for Adu, for what did he say, for Z and me, after the win. He just got the high pitch. That was great. Let's get some of that this year.
And then he kissed Nelly Davis on the forehead or whatever, and he was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
After that win.
Big target.
Oh man, I can't wait. Cannot wait. Casey says, how is the O-line supposed to be this year? Can someone honestly fully fill me in? No bias.
Left side solid, right side TBD. I think is the best way to say it. I mean, they feel really good about Corey Robinson and Fernando Carmona on the left side. Kittler just steady, I think, at center. And the right side, you probably have talent or guys that you think could really be something good one day, and you just don't know if they're there yet. I mean, Kobe Branham sounds like he won the right guard job. Redshirt freshman hasn't played a lot of ball, but they're really, really high on him. So that could mean a number of things. Will probably be some ups and downs there. He'll get better as the year goes along. And then it's probably going to be a Marion Harris at right tackle with Shaq McCrory behind him. So reason to believe that it'll be better, or is it going to be the, big bruising smash mouth football type of offensive line that we would love for it to be? I don't know that I'd go that far.
Well, the good news is they've been absolutely dominant in fall camp, and that's one thing we have confirmed. If they get to play Arkansas's D-line 12 times, this is going to be the best offensive line season we've ever seen. But, of course, it might not always be that way. Am I weird for being more confident in a Marion Harris who, was by far Arkansas's lowest graded lineman last year? I'm more confident in him at right tackle than I am Kobe Branham at right guard and even Kittler at center, who I know made the great switch the other day to pick up the blitz or whatever. But I think that there's, we've kind of glossed over the center and right guard aspect of this. We've talked about right tackle in the battle. We talked about the battle at right guard, but it's like Kittler was, he was fine at UCF, but it's a little bit different coming to the SEC. And then you're starting a true freshman or a redshirt freshman at right guard. Not to say that they're going to be bad, but I think everyone has assumed that they are going to be just extremely solid there. And maybe they are, but I don't know if we really know that yet. And again, I don't think they've been tested at all in camp, which is kind of tough because we're just going to have to find out in real time. They're probably going to, they should be improved, but how much improved will they be? I think is still TBD.
I mean, listen, you don't just bring Kobe Branham and Devin Bale to the catfish hole week one, unless you're thinking that they're going to be big time players. So let's just be honest about that. Because that starts tonight, right? Am I tripping? That's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. Yeah, first one.
Okay. Did you guys? I think we talked about this. Did you guys ever have to listen to that, like when you worked in the Big J journalism jobs? Yeah. Take some notes.
I have to start a thread. Yep. Waste my Wednesday night with what Sam Pittman had to say out there.
Did you get the questions from the audience? Oh, what's going here from the audience? And you got a little kid. It's just like,
they stopped doing that in the last few years. They haven't done that in at least 5 years.
Well,
it kind of sucks because I mean, dude, they let Clemson, they let people call in to talk to Dabo Swinney. That's what we need.
Yeah, and they ended that. Oh my gosh, no. Like when that was going on just a few years ago with Clemson or whenever it was, I still was shocked. I'm like, whose idea was this? To let as any caller get, Homer and Jethro calling in to yell at Sam Pittman. Yeah, it would be great for us in content, but it would not be a great look for anybody. It'd be like, why aren't you running the ball? Just it'd be rough. Heartbroken Hog says, did y'all see what Marcelo posted about the new strength of schedule criteria for the playoff committee? Yes. In fact, I have that right here because we were talking about the playoff. It's a lot of words, so you don't have to read all of them. But essentially what it's the middle part here says, changes for the upcoming season include enhancements to the tools that the selection committee uses to assess schedule strength and how teams perform against their schedule. The current schedule strength metric has been adjusted to apply greater weight to games against strong opponents. An additional metric, record strength, has been added to the selection committee's analysis to go beyond a team's schedule strength to assess how a team performed against that schedule. This metric rewards teams for defeating high-quality opponents while minimizing the penalty for losing to such a team. Conversely, these changes will provide a minimal reward for defeating lower-quality opponents while imposing a greater penalty for losing to such a team.
You know what this sounds like to me? Sounds like the net rankings, baby. Net rankings, wins above bubble, all those things. I can't wait for football bracketology. I'm in.
I know people are going to be citing all these random things. Well, yeah, your XFIP is lower than ours. So,
golly, I want to know who do you think which coach will be which coach in college football will be like Eric Musselman, where it's just like they get mad about it and they bring it up in the press conference. Be like, I don't understand this. Doesn't make any sense. It's somebody's going to get pissed about it. It's probably going to be like Eli Drinkwitz or something. But they're changing it because I want to give a lot of credit to the College Football Playoff Committee. I know a lot of people feel a certain way about it, but to me, they have done a good job of if they do something and it doesn't work or if it's wrong, they change it. Like the seating, they've changed it. Like I appreciate that. It's hard to kind of figure out this type of stuff and get it right the first time and get it perfect. But I at least applaud them for being like, all right, well, hey, this didn't work. And not like sitting here, we got to talk about this for a decade before we decide. It's like, no, you change it and you move on. So I want to give them credit for that because we know in sports, especially college sports, man, it just doesn't ever pan out that way, it feels like. So,
yeah.
So that's the only time I'm probably going to give them credit for anything like that, though. I tell you what, let's also dive into our Alumni Hall question of the day presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall. We're going to be there a week from Friday. So the day before the Alabama A&M game, we're going to be there. So come and check us out and hang out with us as we're going to have some giveaways and a great time from 12 to 2 right there at 3417 North College Avenue. But if you want to get some of the great Razorback apparel, the best of Razorback apparel, polos, shirts, T-shirts, jerseys, all the decor for men, women, and kids, they have the high-end stuff you can't find anywhere else. Peter Millar, Columbia, all that good stuff. You can shop them online. InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Go to that website and you'll be able to check out all the great decor and get them ready for the football season. And use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off with Alumni Hall. So for the question of the day, guys, I was curious on y'all's thoughts because we're having some fun yesterday with Auburn claiming championships because that's a thing now. And Tommy Tuberville is now a national championship winning coach. Congrats. Not only a state rep or whatever he is, but national championship. So I was just curious to ask Razorback fans, if you could claim 1 year in Razorback sports history for a national championship, which year in sport would you think would be the one? Like just not to say you had to have like, oh, we were this close to winning it. No, just year that you'd want to say, hey, that's the year I want to say we were champions, even though we weren't. Tell you what, I'll give you mine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I need to think about this for a second.
I'll give you mine. So I have actually a couple, but if I was going to do each sport, my first one would be 2010 football 2006 football because of the McFadden year and like how everything coming together on that. It would have been awesome to have that championship. And you played in the SEC title and you were a good team. You probably should have been better than what you were, as weird as it is to say. But I think coupling a championship year with Darren McFadden just would have been chef's kiss good. So for me, that would be football. In basketball, honestly, I think the year when they beat Gonzaga, I guess, what was that, 2022, I think? I'd say that one because you beat the number 1 overall seed, and you might as well have been champion if you do that. So, I mean, that's just how it works. So you were the champion then. And plus, that was a fun run and a lot of fun there too.
That's a great call. First of all, that was the funnest team to cover, but that also would have included ending Coach K's career, and getting all the way through. That would have been a really good. And then you would have probably beat. Well, shoot, let's think about this for a second. So you would have ended Coach K's career, then you would have beat North Carolina, then you would have beat Kansas. So it would have been Gonzaga, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, 4 straight to get all the way through there and win that thing. That's about as good as it gets. I think that's a good call.
Well, don't forget New Mexico State, and you beat the Aggies,
Yeah, I don't care.
It's like throw that in. And then baseball, honestly, 2020. That's year I'm calling champions. They Arkansas won it in 2020, COVID year. So those are the ones I would say I'd claim.
The one I don't have is basketball. I can't find a year where Arkansas was the rightful national champion, other than obviously 94 and 95. I guess you could just be like, hey, yeah, some calls didn't go their way against UCLA. I'm all for that. Baseball, John, I can't co-sign the 2021. That team, mediocre. They were going to be good. They probably would have won a lot of games. They didn't have the pitching. They didn't have the pitching that year to go all the way.
They just need more time, Andrew. Just need more time. They were
starting to come around, because remember they went 0-3 in Houston that year, and then they were starting to kind of kick it into gear. I think they would have probably raked. They would have hit a lot. I mean, Heston Kjerstad would have won Golden Spikes. For baseball, I'm going to go 2021, and here's why. The next year, so NC State eliminates them, but then NC State gets COVID, and I think when NC State got COVID, everything they've done in the NCAA tournament at that point is null and void. In my opinion, I think if you're going to basically just, contract, your entire roster is going to get infected. You're removed from it all immediately. You got to go quarantine. I think you're just eliminated. And so I think Arkansas should have taken NC State's spot in the College World Series and played a Vanderbilt team that they already beat and a Mississippi State team that they had swept. When you're 4-0 against the teams in the title series, I feel like that has to count for something. 98 football. Clint Sterner, who, I don't have a personal relationship with Clint Sterner, so I'm not going to, say anything crazy about him, but, is he really a Razorback? Does he claim to be a Razorback?
I mean, as far as I know, yeah.
It's funny, so I listen to Clint Sterner all the time because he covers the Texans very, very thoroughly. I think he's like, he's like a Texan. He's one of the Texans, main guys. They made him look like a real asshole in the Brandon Burlsworth movie. Is that accurate? I don't know, but I feel like they wouldn't have done that if he were a true Razorback. So can we really be held responsible for his sins that he committed against Tennessee? I think Arkansas was undefeated at that point in the season. I'd like to see an alternate world where that plays out. 2006 also, John, you mentioned that one. That's a good one. Arkansas was undefeated with Mitch Mustain at quarterback. If they had just simply let it ride with Mitch Mustain, who's to say? Casey Dick in that LSU game that they lost, Casey Dick went 3 of 17 from passing. If Mitch Mustain starts and just goes 6 of 17, they win.
Yep. Isn't it amazing how that works out? Fun fact though about that LSU team and Darren McFadden and all that. Do you guys know that Darren McFadden pretty much rushed for 1,000 yards against South Carolina and then 800 yards against LSU in his career? Something crazy like that. I don't know if it's that many, but it was just a lot. But still, yeah, those are some good ones. I was trying to think. Last year, basketball would have been fun. Any of these things would have been fun to claim, but last year would have been great to be able to get through that too. And or what was it? Adriel Bailey and getting the no call against North Carolina. North Carolina ended up winning the title. Claim that one.
Yeah, that's another title.
Yeah,
never forget. That was frustrating, man.
Dude, I was just I couldn't.
Every year that Arkansas lost to North Carolina in the NCAA tournament in basketball, could be a national title because I think everything North Carolina basketball has done since 2000 is probably vacated, right?
Yeah,
broke some type of rule. So I feel like there's 4 years there where Arkansas could be the champs.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for the one year that they got beat by 30 by Tyler Hansborough. That you can never be a place like Arkansas or any SEC team. You can't get beat by 30 in the NCAA tournament in any regard. You just can't do it. So just saying.
Was that the year they beat Indiana first, or was that okay?
Yeah, that was.
After that win, I was like, "Hey, man, this is great."
The Kelvin Sampson-less Indiana Hoosiers with Eric Gordon that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good Indiana team, but when you lose your head coach, it hurts. But yeah, again, we could spend a lot of time. And, it's also really, I mean, it'd be terrible for Arkansas to lose by 20 points to a team that they played twice in the season and beat, and then played them in the postseason and with an Elite Eight trip on the line and lost to them by 20. I mean, I couldn't imagine any SEC team doing that. That was pathetic and disgusting. Can't believe. I think that happened last year to somebody. I can't remember though. It's not important. Let's see here, but yeah, that was it's just, again, the Auburn stuff is insane, and the fact that like Tommy Tuberville's putting this up and claiming these 9 titles. We love our guy Quinn, but it's absurd.
I feel bad. I feel like Quinn's feelings yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's all right. He'll come around. He'll forgive us because. We got to play nice with him until at least the Auburn trip that he takes over here. Then, if we want to mess with him a little bit, then we can do that. But I still am just shocked about Auburn, and it's almost like they're intentionally trying to be weird and get in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. So, all right. So a few of your chats here too, and we'll continue on here. Oh yeah, we already talked about that from Evan, but Parker's wanting to know. He's like, do y'all think people will think the A-State game will be close because it's A-State? Like if it was any other Sun Belt team, no one would be saying it would be close.
Well, I mean, sort of, yeah. I take into account what it's going to mean for Arkansas State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with them as a team, really. I mean, there are other Sun Belt teams that are kind of in that upper echelon there that if Arkansas was playing them at War Memorial, I'd kind of be like, I don't feel great about it. But the Super Bowl aspect here, I mean, it's just a very real thing. They're going to be jacked up for it. And the flip side of it is true too, is that Arkansas is going to have to match that energy without the same motivation. They're clearly far more talented and everything, but there is something to that, I think. So yeah, like team on team, sure. I buy that 100%, but just the way they're going to feel about it and the way they're going to overhype it themselves and play it up and everything, it's kind of a weird spot, I think, for Arkansas to be in. And so they're going to have to be really dialed in and sharp mentally more than anything else.
Yeah, a lot of the worst losses in Razorback football history have happened in week 2. If you think about it, like ULM 2012, that was a week 2 where you have your week 1 game, which Arkansas played bad again. I can't remember who they played. Jacksonville State, maybe. They end up winning it fairly comfortably, but like they look shaky there, and you kind of had that feel of like, okay, we got over our thing. Week 1, it's easy to get up for week 1. You're at home, Alabama A&M, season opener. Everyone wants to start the season well, so I don't think Arkansas is going to like trip in week 1. I think it's like a very obvious letdown spot for a lot of those same reasons. You're in Little Rock. I mean, nobody on Arkansas's roster is looking forward to going down to Little Rock and riding that damn bus for 3 hours. Be doing the crowd's obviously not going to be a ruckus environment or anything. That's going to be hard to kind of get your adrenaline pumping there. And it's Arkansas State, and they care about it way more than you. Obviously, Arkansas should and they will overcome these circumstances, but I think that's part of that. All kind of adds into why some people think it'll be close. And I mean, Butch Jones is pretty overqualified for an Arkansas State head coach, and I think they came off a pretty decent year. I did see a thing today that like Arkansas State has some of the most turnover in the entire country in terms of just like new players on their roster, which maybe helps Arkansas. Of course, they have plenty of turnover themselves, but I think there's a lot. There's like you kind of add it all together. I think that's why people think it'll be a little bit closer than it should be. But Arkansas is going to take care of business. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I really do. And also, I would think, I don't know if Arkansas State cares about this or if they believe it, but it would also be like, hey, this is your one shot, because I don't see this game happening again, guys. Like, this is not going to be a common thing. So it's like, this might be is like, hey, this is our one spot. It's not like, okay, well, it's our big game here, but if we don't get them, maybe down the road we will. I honestly truly believe this is the only time that they're ever going to play. And that's something that I wanted to give also Sam Pittman for when he was at the Touchdown Club right there in Little Rock, man, in front of all those fans at War Memorial, just right a mile down the road, with probably some people who wanted that game forever. And he's just like, I'm first coach in 93 years, and to say yes. And he's like, you want him to do home and home? Hell no, I don't want to do a home and home. I love that, because I'm like, yes, thank you. Like that's the honest type of Pittman where I love it. I'm like, yes, thank you. You're not saying like, oh, this is a great game to the state. Nope, I don't want this. And if y'all want this, maybe we'll do it in our place, but we ain't doing it ever again. We're not doing it again, and that's fine. I love that.
Yeah, 100% yes with that one. Good on you, Sam.
Yes.
My question, John, you said it's going to be the last time Arkansas and Arkansas State play, right? Like we're not doing this game again, right? What if Arkansas loses?
Well, if Arkansas
you
loses,
have to play it again. You can't be 0-1 against Arkansas State in the last 100 years. You got to run that sucker back. You got to get your lick back. Bring him back to Fayetteville.
Well, it won't be Sam Pittman doing it if they lose. So
I was about to say, if they're running it back, it ain't going to be Pittman, and it ain't going to be Yurchek, the one that decides it. I can tell you that. Like you might see if they lose to Arkansas State, you may see January 6th down there in Little Rock War Memorial. Like you may see them actually storming the Capitol.
Now,
like it would be rough.
That would officially end War Memorial, though, right?
Oh,
do we agree on that?
Yeah, I would somebody needs to get with Sarah Huckabee Sanders and have her call in a favor to President Trump and just be like, hey, send the nukes. Just put an airstrike in on this place and let's just blow it out of the water. It's done. Like it would
be that bad. You just have to implode the stadium.
You wouldn't even let the players get out of there.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, you don't give them time. It's like you blow up the golf course or whatever it is now, just end it. And that's it. Simple as that. Yes, I'm that serious about it. You cannot lose this game, and it'll be just absolutely.
You can't. And to be clear, they will not lose this game. Like, make no mistake, Arkansas's not going to lose to Arkansas State.
No, I agree. I agree fully. In fact, if I know we'll do our predictions again on Saturday, folks, at around noon. But if there was a confidence level of games that Arkansas is going to win, I feel just as confident about them beating Alabama A&M that I do Arkansas State. Like I feel like it's that level. So I'm sure it won't come back to bite me. And I sure won't.
I'm not quite there yet. I think they will win, but I don't think they're.
Hey, somebody's got to be positive. Somebody's got to be the positive person on this panel instead of you haters and never just hating the Hogs all the time. I mean, come on. No, I tell you what. This is since we're talking about Razorback football in this season and everything. I want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends over at BetSaracen, the number one sports betting app in the state of Arkansas, and it's not even close. Not even close. And they have a great deal going on right now, where you can use promo code BOOSTED, BOOSTED, and you will get a 100% profit boost to use on a bet of your choosing. Betting odds must be plus 5,000 or shorter. So plus 3,000, plus 1,500, plus 100, whatever you want it to be. It can be any type of bet, pre-match, in play, single, parlay, any league, sport, or event. New players only, but you got a $25 max wager, but you're going to win big with BetSaracen. So again, use the code BOOSTED. That's BOOSTED. For 100% profit boost on the app today and get to winning big money by downloading the BetSaracen app on your iPhone or on your Android, or go to BetSaracen.com. It's BetSaracen, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Okay, guys, so there's a few of these specials, which I know some of them we won't go through all of them because some of them I'm sure we'll talk about in our predictions, as well as the game week leading up to it, which will be next week. That's so exciting. The game week's next week and everything. So I cannot wait. But still, there is a few things that are on the BetSaracen app when it comes to some props and whatnot. So I want to get your thoughts and opinions. Actually, that's not the one I wanted. Let's go ahead and talk about this. They have a line for the Arkansas Notre Dame game right now, minus 10.5. Now they don't have them over under. They don't have money line or anything. But what's your guys' reaction to seeing 10.5? About right, more or less? What do you think?
I think it's about right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
new quarterback at Notre Dame. Really talented, inexperienced. I get that, but they're pretty loaded up everywhere else on that roster. They're top 10 coming into the year, college football playoff projections, all that. And I get it. And I understand where Arkansas is. I wouldn't be surprised if that tightens up between now and when we get to game week, but opening up, I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's crazy at all. And I think Notre Dame is, there's no doubt they should be favored in this game. I think Notre Dame is the only question mark for them is at quarterback, honestly. And they just announced a starter. I guess it was like 2 days ago, the Carr kid. It seems like they've upgraded their wide receiver room. They're always good at the line of scrimmage. They might have the best running back in the country. And so it's going to be very interesting to see, does that offense take a step forward? Are they just kind of average offensively and do the defense run the ball? The thing about Notre Dame is, they are going to they don't make mistakes. And so they don't blow teams out. I really don't think there's a world where Notre Dame walks in here and beats Arkansas 44-10. I don't think they're going to beat them that bad, but I think they are the team that just doesn't make mistakes. I think they're a pretty safe bet. It's going to be hard for Arkansas to just move the ball consistently against them. I think 10 points is right in line with where it should be. And you can make your case one way or the other, but in terms of just what each team has coming back, what each team has proven. This is a team that was in the national title game last year. I think 10 points is completely fair.
Yeah, I agree there too. Okay, so just these are a few. Again, we don't have to go through all of them, but for instance, Arkansas, Alabama A&M minus 39.5 is what Arkansas is favored by, according to BetSaracen. I feel like that Arkansas covers that, especially if UAPB is in, or if Alabama A&M is anything close to what UAPB was, it wasn't even close. So I feel like it. I feel like it's an easy cover.
Probably so. Yeah. I think they're significantly better than UAPB, but I agree. I think they should cover that pretty handily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they beat UAPB 70-0 with a running clock. And so it's like, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, Alabama A&M will be and should be way better than UAPB, but it's like, even a 70-point spread wasn't actually enough for that UAPB game. So it's like, well, I mean, is 40 enough? I think Arkansas, if everything we've been hearing about the offense is anywhere close to accurate, they should be able to score at will in this game. So if they can score 50 plus, I think that they can cover that easy.
Yeah, we've talked about the regular season wins and exact ones, but here's a couple of things. Like, instance, regular season home wins, where they're counting the Arkansas State and Little Rock a home game. So just keep that in mind. But just the amount of home games that they end up winning regular season wise, you talk about the significant jump from 5+ regular season scheduled home wins at plus 600, then to 6, she goes plus 1,600. And then if you win all of your home games, which includes, of course, Arkansas State and Little Rock, includes Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Auburn, Missouri, all of that, plus 6,000. So who knows? Maybe if you want to roll the dice there and think Arkansas is going to go 8-4, odds are they probably go undefeated at home, or maybe. So
I mean, hell, half our chat, I think that, like, again, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, a lot of people are very confident that Arkansas is going to be in that 8-4, 9-3 range, and that's on you to feel that way. If you do feel that way, you can make a lot of money if you're putting your money where your mouth is.
That's right. And also on top of that too, it's I don't know. I would feel different about it if Arkansas performed better at home, but they don't. Like they just haven't.
I know.
It's like the thing. If they truly had this thing like Mike Anderson basketball, where it's like, hey, no matter what, they're always going to have a chance at home, I may feel a little bit differently about it. But considering Arkansas usually plays their worst at home, I don't really feel that way.
They are guaranteed at least one flat out dud at home.
Yeah.
There will be one.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm picking, and we'll do that for Saturday, but there will be one.
It just can't be the Auburn game, right? It just cannot be the Auburn game.
It always is, buddy.
Yeah.
It literally always is.
Arkansas and Auburn, they love not playing their best at home against each other. Like, that's just what happens.
It's a road warrior matchup. I don't know what it is. It's like,
yeah, it's wild. Then also for the away wins in the regular season, getting just one or more, minus 400, 2+ regular season away wins, plus 175. No scheduled away wins recorded. So if they just did not win a single game,
lose to Memphis
outside the state of Arkansas, like Memphis or anybody, plus 325. And then for them to get 3+ regular scheduled away wins is plus 1,000. Guys, I'm going to admit, I put money down on that 3+ regular season, not because I fully believe it, but plus 1,000 to be able to beat Memphis and then, throw in
beat Ole Miss in Tennessee or something.
Yeah, just like something random like that. And because they play better away from home, it's like,
I was going to say, the only problem with it is a lot of their winnable SEC games, Mississippi State, Auburn, Missouri, even A&M, maybe, those are all at home. So it's like you have two what we all consider to be auto losses on the road in Texas and LSU. And so really, if you're doing that 3+, it has to be like that bet has to hit by week 3. Like that Ole Miss game, they lose it, like it's over.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just like that Memphis game, obviously, I like the 2. You said 2+ is plus 170. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 2+ 175.
Okay, that's a bet I actually would borderline recommend, because I think the Memphis game, if Arkansas is a serious program, they beat Memphis, so that's your one in your back pocket, and then you've got Ole Miss, Tennessee, and then those other games. Like you just need one. Like that's not a crazy bar to clear.
Yeah. Also, they have this team special if Arkansas beats A&M and Missouri this year. It's plus 325, which I think it should be higher considering that you never beat those teams. You just don't.
2021. What do you mean, bro?
I mean,
trophy year. Do you not forget the epic trophy run of 2021?
No, I do remember it well. But it's just sad because in the past decade that you've played these teams every year, you played these teams every year for the past decade, you have a total combined wins of 2. That's just bad. But either way, I think it should be higher. We were talking about the playoff. Arkansas to make the playoff at plus 2,000 should be much higher than that, in my opinion. SEC conference, we're not even going to entertain that one. But let's see. We'll get into the prop plays, I think, probably at a later time. I think that's what these are. So, yeah, anyways, just a few of them at BetSaracen you can check out for some team specials. And they'll have ones. They have season ones, and then they'll have the game week ones against Alabama A&M. They always have prop plays and whatnot. So if you want to
those
take
are always fun, man.
Dude. Who was the one that was on it? Or who was it in baseball that was Rocco Pepe that was on it no matter what? Hopefully in football, there's somebody like, I don't know, like maybe David Oakey, like even though he's injured or something, just he's like, over 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss, plus 500. I was like, oh man, I'm going to hit that one. I'm hoping that's the case. Man, good old Randy. He knows his players out there. That's for sure. Okay, so we'll get to our heavy hitters and a lot more. Let's get to a few of your chats too. Here, appreciate everybody tuning in. Cameron, you're doing a great job of highlighting things. Thank you, intern. Yeah. I got to make sure I put the intern on there. That way, everyone knows to treat him badly because that's what apparently people have to do with interns. Let's see. Hunter just says, "Hey Curtis, I don't think I can wait much longer for basketball season. I'm ready to see the team play." He says with a baseball player in his avatar. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. Me too. I'm really excited about this team. I'm excited to start hearing some of the stuffs that come out of workouts because they're ramping that stuff back up now. And full practice begins on the 22nd of September, so we're like a month away from them really ramping it up. Football's right around the corner. Basketball is not that far. It's kind of crazy how quickly the dog days have gone away and we're getting into the thick of it here. But I'm with you, man. I'm excited for this team too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, Counts just says, why aren't we expecting this O-line to be utterly dominant? We had to move an excellent left tackle to left guard as a preseason first-team All-SEC player because we brought in the highest graded pass blocker in the Power 4. I think Counts is responding to someone else's chat about the O-line. So,
yeah,
I could be wrong.
I would just say that's 2/5 of your offensive line, first of all. Second of all, Corey Robinson, they literally brought him in for that exact reason, pass blocking. He was also only on the field half the season for Georgia Tech because there was a drop off with the run blocking. It's like there's some give or take there that's involved. I still think the left side is going to be better. And then we've had the entire discussion about the right side, which is still a question mark. So the reason I am not expecting the offensive line to be utterly dominant is because there's nothing on from center all the way to the right that leads me to believe that they should be, I guess is where I'm at. So
like, these are the kind of comments, and I'm not trying to be mean, but these are the ones that like rub me the wrong way because it makes me feel like I'm an idiot sometimes. Like, if you're expecting an offensive line to be utterly dominant, like that terminology that you use, if you're expecting an O-line to be utterly dominant, I feel like there has to be some semblance of evidence that points to any one player on the offensive line being dominant. And to your point about Corey Robinson, tremendous pass protector. It's why he's an NFL prospect. Why, if there's anyone on this line that's going to play NFL football, it's going to be him because he has the body. He looks like Michael Orr, perfect pass blocker. He was not utterly dominant at Georgia Tech by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he had a below average run grade. So it's like, that's something that you can fix. Maybe he'll be utterly dominant this year, but I can't even buy that he's utterly dominant. And Fernando Carmona, is a great player. He had a 66.0 PFF grade overall in 900 snaps last year. Now, PFF's not the end-all, be-all. I get all that, but it's like his pass block grade was a little bit above average. His run block grade was a little bit below average. I think he's going to be better. I think he'll be better at guard. I think he'll be a good player. Hell, I could see him even being an all-SEC player. But to say that we should be expecting him to be utterly dominant is a stretch. And those are the two guys that this whole thing is built around. Mm-hmm. Caden was an average center at UCF in the Big 12. Again, will he be a nice player? Maybe, but like utterly dominant? Like why would we expect them to be utterly dominant? Like, I don't know why questions are framed this way where it's like, why is Taylor not the literal best quarterback of all time? It's like, what? It's like how did we get there? Like, we can have a conversation about the O-line, and I definitely, without a doubt, think they're going to be improved, but there's a lot of reason to believe why they would not be utterly dominant, right?
Yeah, and I that may have been directed at me because I think I'm the one that said I don't know that I see him being the old school smash mouth juggernaut type offensive line that we want, but I think they're going to be better, and it's for all the reasons that we just laid out. I think there's a wide gap between where they were last year and being improved from that and being a dominant SEC offensive line. That's all.
Can we start with being an above average SEC offensive line? If they are an above average SEC offensive line, this will be a really solid offense. Like, this will be a good offense.
Yeah, absolutely. B. Walter, appreciate it, man. It says, sup, guys, nothing like inside Arkansas and trucking on the open road. Hopefully you're not doing what Petrino's doing and just, holding us with one hand and driving with the other and everything. But yeah, we appreciate it, which I'm not going to, I don't know the full name here. This might be our guy, Walter, from Walter Christmas Lighting. Just throwing it out there. I don't know for sure one way or the other, but
if so, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down here now. I feel like we've kind of carved a little bit of a niche with, like truckers, mail persons. Is that what we call them now?
Works for me.
Delivery people, Uber drive. Like it seems like people who are in their cars a lot or their vehicles a lot, driving around, tend to tap in with us, and I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Just don't watch. You can have the YouTube stream up. Just don't look at it. You have not developed the skills that Bobby Petrino has. Keep your eyes on the road, please. That's all we ask.
Yeah, especially in the fact of like, we're not worth looking at, and to have an accident while you're on the open road. We are not worth looking at. So we're worth listening to, but not worth looking at for sure. But hey, I guess that's a perfect segue because we want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas, we're brought to you by friends of Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. We know the holiday season is right here. I mean, we're just a couple months away from Halloween, and a lot of you like to decorate, go all out, be in the spirit. Well, do it with the Christmas Lighting of Walter, and they are going to make sure that they do it the best possible way. They're professionals, and they make it easy on you where you don't have to go out there and get on your roof and hang up some lights, and then you got to worry about taking them down. You got to worry, what if one of them goes out in the strand? It looks bad. You can't have that. Well, just leave all that aside, because if you're in Northwest Arkansas or in the River Valley, they're going to help install and set up your house with the professional lighting, not only for Halloween, but for Christmas as well. They provide all the materials, any color, any pattern that you want, and they install the lights themselves. They give you free maintenance throughout the holiday season. So if anything goes out, any strands go out, they're going to help you out there too. And they also have the takedowns that they'll do themselves in January. And if you sign up for Halloween lights, you'll also get your Christmas lights, 50% off. You're not going to get a better deal than that. So text our guy, Brett, for a free estimate at 479-459-1380. That's 479-459-1380. You can also check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com or like them on Facebook by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. Okay, I like this from Hickory Hog, where he says, I've been daydreaming of Billy Richmond making corner threes, then pump fake baseline dunk when it's hot and I've got sweat dripping in my eyes. That's the happy place I go to. Bring on November. Okay.
It's oddly specific, but I love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. And you might have to be daydreaming for those corner threes, but the pump fake and the baseline dunk is definitely there. He's going to make some threes this year, though. He ain't going to be Klay Thompson out there, but he'll make a few.
He just needs to make a few so that pump fake actually works.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Also, hey, Kaiser's over here says, I vouch that statement. I listen daily to you boys when I'm in my Amazon van. LMAO.
Let's go. We know our audience. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you ever end up delivering anything to one of our houses, keep it on the DL. Don't
I think that was the one guy that was like, he was like, I think I just delivered something to Andrew's house.
May have been. And it's just like, no, you didn't. I didn't order anything from Amazon at all. And let's see also, because I know we'll have our heavy hitters as well here in a second. But Trey brought this up. He says Bobby Bone's going to give some Hawk fan 10K if they make the playoffs. Yeah, I retweeted him from yesterday. He does this pretty often. Shout out to our guy Bobby. But yeah, if they make the playoffs, and listen, I get it, because it's just a crazy, crazy thing. But just like in anything, if it's so unlikely and you're saying you're going to do this, because what was it? Frank Fletcher if they won 8 or 9 games or something, he was going to give away 12 cars or something. It's just like, listen, yeah, it's awesome, but the likelihood of them doing that is pretty rare. So
it's like saying you're going to shave your head if Arkansas comes back and beats LSU in the College World Series.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
I'm also, by the way, I've been seeing people that'll be like, if Arkansas beats Ole Miss, Andrew shaves his head. I'm like, can we set the bar like a little bit? You know, again, you got to set it high. People will literally just be like, if they make a bowl, Andrew shaved his head. Like, let's shoot for the moon a little bit.
Now I saw one earlier. It said if Arkansas makes the college football playoff, Andrew shaves his head and Curtis doesn't get a haircut for a year. Why are you guys trying to make us look like we're not supposed to look?
Listen, I will.
Nobody wants that.
I'll just go ahead and say it right now. I'll take a page out of the Frank Fletcher playbook. If Arkansas makes the playoff, I will gladly shave my head on stream. Like, well, each year, each sports season, we will have a bet. Arkansas makes the playoff at 9-3, 10-2. Gladly.
So then, if they make the playoff, I will not cut my hair from the day that the bracket is revealed until the next one's revealed.
Yeah, so like late December to Christmas to Christmas, essentially.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, I was just going to say that if Andrew had to shave his head, then by then making the playoffs, and Curtis, you have to wear his hair. Then you have to just pretend. You can put it under a hat and you just wear his hair. If we're going to get weird with it, why not?
You can't do that.
Oh, you know what? Is that crossing the line? Is that too much?
It would be weird. Would you have to wash it?
No, I mean, you would wash it before you cut it, right? I mean, then it's fine.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, after a week or so, like what's going to happen?
Probably get the cops caught on y'all, to be honest with you. Like something like
probably should.
Yeah, I probably need to be committed if that's happened. Let's see. Howard says y'all just put Arkansas in the playoffs. Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Yeah. Listen, if that's what it takes, then we're all for it.
We'll gladly deal with the consequences if Arkansas makes the playoff. I think we'll make it work.
Yeah. Even though Lady Michelle says, well, not worth winning the $23 I could have put on BetSaracen.
You don't want me to go straight to the locks?
Yeah. It's like, just think it's what it would all mean. What it would all mean for all of us. Be a trooper in that regard.
It take people a while to get used to all that, I think.
Yeah, I know. People have gotten so used to our dashing good looks now. If we messed with them, it would take a lot of getting used to for everybody. Angel says, if Arkansas won a natty, our population would double the next year.
State?
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what does not need their population to double is the University of Arkansas.
Nope.
They have more students than they know what to do with every day. When I drive on campus, I'm like, geez, this is a mess. And they've got construction all over the place. They're finally almost finished with Maple, but there are too many students at the University of Arkansas than I think the university is equipped to handle.
There's been too many for a long time. I try to tell kids these days, it's like when I was a freshman at the U of A, in 2007, there were 17,000 kids at the U of A. Now there's 40,000. Like you're talking about over doubling in a 15-year span, roughly. That's just insane. It's just madness, absolute madness. So, but they're not going to listen to us on that. They're going to keep taking money and making it happen. So, okay, a couple more chats here too. And then, okay, we already talked about that. Yeah, the shaving the head stuff and everything. And then, Whitty just wants to know the facts. China created COVID to stop Arkansas from winning a natty. Just to let you know, it's facts. Somehow COVID kept us.
COVID took Sam Pittman's year one natty away from us.
Yep, made him play Texas A&M and down there in College Station.
The month, by the way, 2020 is really the Arkansas natty. I was trying to think of a basketball one. It is 2020.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they were going to go to the tournament.
Mason Jones was about to go on the bender of a lifetime, average 44 a game in the tournament.
Yep, just be like one of the the Carmelo Anthonys of the world, and was it Shabazz Napier? Was that his name? The guys that just put the teams on their back and rolled into a championship. Yeah,
Kimba
Walker.
Kimba.
Yeah, it was going to happen for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get into our heavy hitters presented by our friends at HD Roofing and Construction. We know storms can hit unexpectedly. Storms are coming through the state of Arkansas yesterday, not just in Northwest, but really in the central Arkansas area. Crazy winds and a lot of things that could happen. Power was going out and all of that. Well, that was rough, but imagine if you didn't have your roof in check. Imagine if your roof was not ready to take on something as damaging and something as strong as that. You'd be, as they say, SOL. Well, don't worry about it, because if you get HD Roofing, they're going to help you out with a free inspection, because they have professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation that's going to help you out with all of your roofing needs. And you can give them a call today to get that free inspection by calling them at 0429. That's 501-428-0429. You can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen as well. It's hdarkansas.com, HD Roofing and Construction, talking about our heavy hitters here today. All right. So I have a couple heavy hitters, but one of them's just something I kind of like. I like unique spins on products when it comes to college athletics and like making college, like, I guess, what was it, the Kingsford charcoal? I don't know if they're going to have, which would be cool if they had like a Razorback logo on a bag of charcoal, because, Razorback fans are going to buy anything with a hog on it, let's be honest. So, but I always thought that it was cool with like the Bud Light cans that they put out, because they do it for team specials, Arkansas being one of them. I'm not talking about the beer. We're not going to hear the debate like, oh, Bud Light, brr. Just talking about the cans. My thing is guys, of all those cans right there, does one stand out as like, hey, that's a cool looking can compared to the others? Because to me, I don't know why, but it's like that Nebraska can with the white just stands out. I don't know why, but I guess the whole point of it is what my heavy hitters. I like when teams do this. I like when products do this, whether it's Kingsford charcoal or Bud Light. Coca-Cola used to do it. Everybody in the 90s that was a Razorback fan had the 6-pack of glass bottle Coca-Colas with the 94 championship. I think it needs to happen more. I think it should be done more. And it's just a reminder that that's the case. So I always.
Is that a Missouri State can?
It is.
It is.
Wow.
Sam Houston. How about that?
Yeah. I was also wondering to know the top second to the right, UTRGV.
Yeah.
What is that?
Rio Grande Valley.
Rio Grande Valley.
All right.
Good for them.
All right. Wonder how much those sell.
Coastal. Is that right there between Kansas State and Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
That might be my favorite one.
Yeah. It's a good one. They got the best color scheme there. Although I do like the LSU tiger stripe. Like, that's the unique thing of those. It's got the tiger stripes surrounding the can. It's kind of cool too. So.
That LSU tiger looks eerily similar to the Missouri State bear. Can we talk about this for a second? It's too close. I don't like it.
Yeah. Do we call it the front facing tiger? And it's
I think that's what's going on here. Yeah.
I think it's a bad looking logo and everything. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. They should have just done the LSU eye. Isn't that the thing? The eye of the tiger. I like that logo more, but either way. These are the ones that have been chosen to represent the Bud Light and having the cans and everything. So if you go into, I believe in Razorback Stadium, they have, if you get Bud Lights, it's the Razorback tall bottle cans or whatever. So yeah, but either way, again, I'm a fan of those things. I want them to do it more. I want products to do it more. So someone does, I'm always a fan of it.
Like it. My heavy hitter is Hog Slap. He says, beer tastes good. That's a good chat right there. Andrew, earlier you said, Curtis, what are you smiling about? And it's because I just saw something that you had probably already seen. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like you'd have said something to me about it.
If you take mine, I'm going to be mad. I'm just going to tell you right now. But go ahead.
What does it have to do with?
Now you go ahead. You go ahead.
Is it combat related?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, cool. Jake Paul will face Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition boxing match on Netflix. They're literally heavy hitters. They punch people for a living now, sort of, allegedly. What is there, like 100-pound difference between these two guys here? This is going to be a joke. But could you please knock him out? Please. He won't be allowed to. But gosh, I want to see it so bad that I'm going to watch it, even though I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, at least you're going to go in with the mentality knowing that it's a set-up thing. Boxing's not a real sport. All these things. There's going to be several million Americans who are going to look forward to watching it because they do think, hey, this is going to be the moment. We're going to expose Jake Paul. They're totally going to let Tank knock him out in an exhibition. I do think this is hilarious. By the way, Jake Paul was trying to get a match with Anthony Joshua, who is a heavyweight, like 260 pounds.
Not gone well for him.
Which it fell through for some unknown reason. I don't know what's going on. And now he's going to fight a guy who's 134 pounds. So
it's absolute insanity. That's crazy. I know he's called out Canelo and everything like that, which wouldn't go well for him either. Anthony Joshua wouldn't go well for him if they had an actual fight. The Tank Davis thing is crazy. Yeah, but Tank will hit you now. So like if they would let him actually throw his hands, he would knock Jake Paul out. Sure. But they're not going to do it. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did see that, but I was like, and I thought about kind of like jokingly making it my heavy hitter, but that's a good one. I got my honorable mentions. Got to mention my pigs. Charles Davalon made his professional debut last night for. I got to pull up the name of this team because it's absolutely unreal. The names of these minor league teams over the years have evolved to. I don't even know. Like I used to know them all like pretty well, like at least AAA, AA. He made his debut last night for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. That is the A-ball team of the Dodgers organization. He had been with their little rookie league squad the last few weeks, but he made his debut, went 2 for 4, had a couple base hits, drove in a run, drew a walk. Good stuff from Charles Davalon. Vahiva Aloy continues to rake up in Delmarva. He is 7 for 21 with 5 doubles. Got that first professional home run out of the way, but 5 doubles. Speaking of professional home runs, Peyton Stovall hit his first one last night. He is up in high A with the Reds organization. I will say his first year of pro ball not going particularly well, but good to see him get on the board. No matter what, he hit a home run in a professional baseball game. It's more than all of us can say. So shout out to Peyton Stovall. But my heavy hitter actually is Justin Herbert.
What? Okay. Any particular reason?
Year 2 under Harbaugh. I think he's set up for a big year. One of the more underrated young quarterbacks, and it appears he's on track for a good season. So just wanted to shout out to Justin Herbert.
I can't help but think that he probably had a picture with somebody or a picture of somebody he's around that may have triggered that. But guess I'll just have to Google it later and check it out if that was the case. I will say that this is just a funny thing. You guys know how, at least the basic knowledge of how courtrooms work. If especially when the verdict is being read, it's, hey, you're either guilty or you're not guilty. What would be really tough is if you were like on trial for a very serious crime and the judge misspoke and gave you the wrong, you just misread what it was, and it would just be a tough look right here.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty as to all 6 counts of the bill of indictment. Sheriff, will you please hand this to state's counsel and pass it over to...
Wait, what?
Didn't I say not?
No.
Sorry. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty on all 6 counts.
So, again, trust me, as someone who has to read sometimes, reading can be hard. But I feel like the one thing you got to get right is if you're reading the verdict to somebody of whether they're guilty or not guilty on 6 counts of a major crime.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is a swing of emotions right there, man. Wow.
I couldn't imagine. Imagine like that being like the O.J. Simpson case, like just not guilty. Oh, well, I mean, sorry, man, my bad. Guilty. Just swing of emotions there. Just I saw, I was like, man, that's a rough look. That's a rough look for old Judgy. But hey, he corrected it pretty quickly, at least. So you got to read that not word. That's an important one to be able to base it out on and to make it work. So either way. All right. So those are our heavy hitters today, but we can go ahead and also get to our final segment. Also get to some of your chats and some other things presented by our friends over at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, because they are the place to go when it comes to having access to the boats without the commitment, because this is boating that fits your lifestyle. We know a lot of you love to get out on the water, and it's a lot of fun. But the thing is when you get out there, you own a boat, it's a lot of work, a lot of maintenance, a lot of driving it around, putting it down there in the water, all of that stuff. Well, don't worry about it anymore, because Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas is going to help you out, whether it's Greerish Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, or a day on the river in Little Rock, with also more locations coming up. You can make your summer, your fall, your winter, your spring, whenever it is, the best one yet, as they will give you access to the boats, great boats, and have a great time with it. So text the words Inside Arkansas. That's just 2 words, Inside Arkansas, to 501-270-6477. That's 501-270-6477. Just text those 2 words and you get 50% off your initiation fee. Check out their website today also at freedomboatclubar.com for more info. All right. So again, closing up shop here on the show, and going to be getting to some of your chats as well as some other topics as well. Let's see. The one from, Finch, I guess, says, Curtis, I expect even more of a banger of a pot at the Palace for my birthday tomorrow. I'm having basketball withdrawals. Are you sure? We couldn't tell. It's not like you say it in the chat every day or anything like that.
Yeah, it's football season. Don't talk about basketball around John. He'll get you.
Yeah.
He'll get you. I got you covered, man. Happy early birthday, too.
I
Wonder
love
how
when
old he's going to be.
people demand that Curtis do pot at the Palace when he does it every single day. It's like,
Yep.
Curtis, hey, you going to do a pot at the Palace tomorrow? It's like, well, he does it every single day. So it's like, I would imagine he's going to continue to do it.
It was a bit a couple weeks ago because remember somebody was like, "So are you just not doing it anymore now that football's coming around?" I was like, "Dang,
Yeah.
Yep. Just gave up on it. Just
subscribe to the channel and turn the note. What are we doing?"
I'll tell you what, for some of these are some sports topics I actually asked the other day, but we've just been so busy I hadn't had a chance to get to them. But since we're winding down a little bit and we'll have more of your chats too, just want to throw these one out there for sports, food as well as entertainment. But for the sports side of things, guys, and it can be Razorback, but it could be really any game or event. But what's the hottest and the coldest game that you've ever attended? Again, can be Razorback game or not, but just one. And with basketball, I know it's indoors, but say if it was one you had to walk far and it was really cold, however it is.
So the coldest for me is for sure, I feel like that 2009 or 2010, January 2nd, 2010 Liberty Bowl definitely was up there in terms of the coldest that I've ever had to go to. Some basketball games, I went and saw them play Florida when it was a snow game one time, but obviously indoors, got to enjoy that one. The Cotton Bowl in 2007 was sneaky miserable, but I think I might have just been sitting in a bad area.
It's true.
I want to say the hottest. It might have been the 2021 regional.
Yeah.
Dude,
every
regional is the hottest regional.
Dude, there were some days where it was brutal there. Now, fortunately, I was able to do the press box thing, but I definitely remember sweating through my shirt like on the way from the parking lot. It was crazy hot for some of those. Coldest, man, I cannot remember the game, but we wound up having kind of one of those crazy ice/snowstorms. And Arkansas played. It was one of those days where they're like, "Hey, everybody's set in the lower bowl. We're going to have reduced concessions or whatever." And then our power wound up going out here at home, and it was frigid in the house. We stayed at a hotel for a night, and I went to work so I could type and have internet at Panera Bread, and Bob Holt was just there.
As he would be.
Exactly. I spent an entire day at Panera with Bob Holt, but I can't remember who the heck they were playing.
A&M or LSU?
I want to say that maybe it was the A&M when Mikal Mitchell got to wear that green jacket that they put on him for cleaning the glass or whatever. But I'm not 100% sure. One of those, though.
I'd say Michelle's got a good submission here for hottest. War Memorial, when they opened the season against, I guess it was Western Carolina. That game, I was so grateful I was in the press box for that one. I believe they ran out of water that day, too.
Yep.
Every season opener, when they play Alabama A&M here, that might unseat it as it's always so hot for that opener. Another game, 2023 also regional. The AC broke in the press box, and I remember they were playing TCU where they ended up losing, and they delayed the game for a little bit because there was like a lightning strike 7 miles away, and I was like so glad. I was like, let me just go sit in my car, bump the AC, and just sit for an hour. That was really miserably hot, but those are the hottest and coldest I can think of.
Yeah, the hottest one, again, the ones you got was great. I remember Brett Bielema's very first game when do you guys remember the t-shirt gun exploded? And it was so bad that Arkansas was giving out free water. They were giving you free water. That's when you know it's bad. But the t-shirt gun exploded, nearly blew off an intern's leg. And it was just a bad deal because I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can't leave exposed CO2 canisters out in the sun when it's like a heat index of 120. Apparently, it doesn't go well. So just a little FYI there.
I've been to some July nooners at Busch Stadium for Cardinals games that were just absolutely brutal, and they were doing the same thing, giving away water to people. You could always hear the little ambulance golf cart things with the sirens because people were getting overheated and passing out and stuff. Ain't nobody going to those anymore. Nobody's going to Busch Stadium anyway, but they certainly aren't going in the crazy heat like that. That was the hottest sporting events that I've ever been to, or some of those, but been some hot ones, man, at Razorback Stadium too.
Yeah. Also I remember when Arkansas started doing that with water, and I'm like, you guys can do this all the time? You guys could give out free water. And, maybe if you do that more often, that'd be pretty helpful. But you got to make your money. Also, too, just a couple more for the food and entertainment side. I'll tell you what, we'll start with the entertainment. What was the one scene from a movie in your childhood that scared you to death? Like, if there was, it could be a kid's movie or not, but just one that when you were a kid, you were like, it freaked you out. Because I'll go ahead and give you mine. It's a movie we talked about recently. It's Jurassic Park, when the T-Rex is like at night and it's raining and stuff, and it's the kids and he's like attacking them. That, as a kid, freaked me out so much because of the build up and the goat gets eaten. And, it was just, and I think it was because the kids were there and everyone's getting attacked. I've looked at myself as a kid. So either way, like that was one that really like freaked me out a lot.
Yeah. I don't, we talked about this with the horror movies. Like I never really have gotten too scared in those things. I'm trying to think back to something that might have freaked me out as a kid. But yeah, I'm fearless, boys. I don't know what to tell you.
I can't place it in my brain, but there's like a few cartoons that I was growing up watching that like really just elicited some fear in me for whatever reason. And I think I've told the story about when I went and saw Insidious in theaters and like had to sleep on the couch and like was like scared to walk upstairs to my room. And I was like 12 by that point. I was like a little too old to be doing that, but that would be one. I'm trying to think. There's some animated movie that like isn't even meant to be scary that scared me when I was a kid, and I'm thinking it might have been Land Before Time.
Dude, that one was.
There were some Land Before Time episodes that were a little bit scary.
Yeah, like I saw. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but one of my movies that I liked as a kid was American Tail. Like I don't know if you guys ever remember that movie with Five-O the mouse, dude. There's some heavy themes in that. Like it was like the Russian coming over from like into immigrants as America, and the cats are like the gang, and they're like capturing the mice. It was just insanity. So yeah, there was a few of those.
I did not think we would have a Five-O the mouse reference today on the show.
Listen, I was big on the Five-O and America. What was it? Five-O Goes West, the sequel, which was also really good. So. Also, Lady Michelle's over here saying Lion King Mufasa murder scene. I guess so, but I was like, that's made me more sad than scared.
Yeah. There's a lot of those. I can give you a lot of scenes that really made me sad, and that would be one of them for sure. I guess it was a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes hand in hand, so that one works. And then finally, just your food side of things. What's your favorite ice cream establishment? And then just again, like I mean, there could be some good ice cream at like Sonic, but I'm talking about like one that's dedicated, like they're known for their ice cream or their type of thing. Like, what's your go-to?
Yeah, there's a place in St. Louis called Ted Drew's that it's like on that list. You know how it is. Every city that you go to, people will be like, you say, oh, where should I go eat? Where do I have to go? And somebody will give you a barbecue joint. Somebody will give you a pizza place, whatever. And somebody will give you an ice cream joint. Ted Drew's is that in St. Louis. It's frozen custard technically, but it's on a different level. It's like if Arkansas does go there and play in the NCAA tournament, I'll be taking you guys to Ted Drew's. We'll have to, body armor up at this point, but we will go there for sure. If BJ Young was in here today, he would know all about some Ted Drew's.
I like that. I don't have a ton of like big, I like ice cream, but I don't eat ice cream enough to where I like have all my lists and stuff. But I will say Marble Slab back in the day used to be cool. It's kind of like it's become a little bit more corporate now. Like they're a little bit too popular. Every cool establishment gets popular enough to where they're no longer cool. And I think Marble Slab has reached that where, they make it on the Marble Slab there. I remember me and my buddies drove an hour for Marble Slab back in the day because there wasn't one in our hometown. But again, they're not as cool anymore. I got to be honest. I think Andy's is very good stuff. Like I've never had a bad experience at Andy's, and I'm probably going back pretty soon.
Yeah. No,
you guys mess with shakes?
Yeah.
Never had shakes.
Like
even
shakes.
at home, never had shakes.
Yeah. Shakes kind of like as a native Fayettevillian, it was like the first place that actually had like concretes because we didn't have a Dairy Queen. We didn't have any of an Andy's or any of that. It's just that's kind of the first spot for it. So, but low key Brahms, kind of the old school, like the just classic ice cream if you're going
Great
for that.
Burger at Brahms too.
Yeah. Good breakfast. Solid breakfast there as well. So, but all right. A few chats before we roll out of here for the day, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Got Witty, who has a super chat and also a pretty fun one here. Fern Gully, the black cloud thing. Yeah, Hexus.
Fern Gully is that's a great pull right there. That is horrifying. Fern Gully horrified me as a kid.
Yeah.
He's had some bangers. This might be his best contribution.
Yeah.
This is a good one right here.
Yeah, he's had a lot of great chats, but this might be the best one.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, I always think back to when at least I was a kid. If I ever had VHS tapes of certain animated movies or certain kids movies, it's not like my parents just bought me a billion, but they bought me select ones. And I'm always like, why did y'all get me Fern Gully? Like, not that it wasn't like this thing that was like, oh, mom and dad, please get me Fern Gully. I saw a commercial. It was just kind of there. So I was like, I wonder why Fern Gully. Maybe because Tim Curry was the voice of Hexus or something. I don't know.
Fern Gully might have been one of those movies that just kind of was in everyone's household. It's like that Halloween candy that nobody bought it. Nobody remembers getting it, but it's like when you check your bag, there's those little weird little candies. I think Fern Gully might be that movie. Like Curtis, I guarantee you, your parents didn't buy Fern Gully. It just kind of showed up there.
It did. It disappeared. Yeah.
Just there.
What is this? Okay.
It may have been, honestly, it may have been one of those, like, this is going way back, VHS tapes where they would just like send them to random people. Like you just get a VHS tape in the mail and they'd be like, hey, we want you to watch this. It's like, oh, okay, sure. So it could have been one of those things. I don't know. But either way, yeah, that was, when you talk about the candy, it just made me think of like every grandmother's house had a candy dish or whatever, but it was always like a Werther's caramel candy. There was like a key in there that no one knew what it went to. And there was like a eyeglass lens. And it's just like, what is this? Like, why? This is a candy jar or a candy bowl. It's not supposed to have these things. So, Fern Gully, man. That was a good one.
I used to get startled at Amazon Amazon Rainforest whenever it would start storming there. Would y'all get scared?
What does that mean?
No.
At Rainforest Cafe, when it starts, they get darker and it starts, lightning and thunder and all that.
I think I only went to one, and I don't think it did that when I was there. So I guess I didn't know that was a thing.
Definitely you gotta go back to Rainforest Cafe like once a decade, I'd say.
Yeah. Where is it even at these days?
There's one in Galveston. That's the most recent one I've been to.
Making a trip to Galveston.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That dirty water down there.
Somewhere. Where is it? There's got to be one in like a mall not too far away from here.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, real quick, going back to our ice cream topic, do you guys remember Dippin' Dots? I remember those things were the biggest craze.
Oh, yeah.
Ice cream of the future.
Yeah.
They've been saying that for 30 years. I'm like, it is we are in the future. It is not the ice cream of where we're living.
Yeah. It was like, okay, yeah, it was ice cream just because you use nitrous oxide and there were little dots. Like, ooh, like give me a thing. Just give me a couple of scoops of chocolate chip cookie dough and call it a day. I'll do that over the little dot. Like dots didn't do anything for me. It's just cool to look at. So, geez, that was good stuff. Glad we could get all those things out of the way. Well, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day?
No.
Tune into the Bombastic Podcast later today. We're going to have an episode talking about some summer league action, some pro hogs that have been standing out, and, counting down the days until we get some scrimmages, which really is not going to be that far away. The team is on campus. They're starting to work out officially, which is exciting. And I can't wait to see these lads out in action in the field.
Well, fall ball action coming your way. And my final thought is just what we've been talking about with coming up this Monday. They still have just a few spots left for the 21st annual Golf for a Cause presented by the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Arkansas and North Louisiana, which we've been honored enough to partner with them in promoting this great event for a great cause, where they're playing up there at Rogers Pinnacle Country Golf Club. And it's going to be awesome. It's always a great event. It's presented by Tyson Foods, McDonald's, and Newlywed Foods. And it provides comfort and care to families with injured children. And all proceeds in this tournament in Rogers support the Ronald McDonald House and Ronald McDonald Family Room in Northwest Arkansas. You can sign up today at rmhcarkansas.org/events. That's rmhcarkansas.org/events. You can also check out that QR code right there, and it'll bring you right to the great event for a great cause happening next Monday at Pinnacle Country Club and Rogers. All right, so that'll do it for us. Appreciate each and every one of you listening and watching again. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas. And as a reminder, on Saturday, we will be having our official Razorback football season predictions going out at noon. So be sure to check that out. And not only subscribe to us here on YouTube, but also check us out on social media at Inside Arkansas. And also download all of our audio version of podcasts wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast, or Inside Arkansas Football. Also have that one too that's going to be in podcast form. And we're going to keep it going from there. So that'll do it for us. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbor. Same sports show, same sports channel. tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.